Good morning, Elizabeth Moore here, and today I hope that you brought your duct tape or your spackle or your Gorilla Glue because we are going to be fixing some holes. So what does that mean? Well, we are going to be talking about overwhelm today. You know that feeling when you have like 9,999 things to do on your to-do list? Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. So the first thing when it comes to overwhelm is to realize that it's normal. Our minds like to tell us that we feel overwhelmed because we're not good enough, we can't do it, there's not enough time in the day. But the reality is, when we are feeling overwhelmed, it's just a sign that something needs to be fixed. And I'm going to tell you how to do that in just a second. So, as humans, we crave routine, steps, predictability. And if we are doing something more than once, we should really have a system for it. So how do we fix those feelings of overwhelm? It's easy, actually, but it's, again, doing it is the hard part. So what do? We find that one pain point, the thing that hurts us the most in our daily routine. Now notice I said one, because you see this? You have two hands. You only have two hands. You cannot do everything at once. And if you try to do everything at once, you're just going to get back into that cycle of overwhelm. So pick that one thing that hurts the most and sit down, dedicate 15, 30 minutes, an hour to focused, dedicated time on coming up with a solution, a system, something that when it comes up again, you're not going to feel so overwhelmed because you already have something in place that is going to run smoothly. So the thing that I like to use an example that most of us feel overwhelmed with our morning routines. A lot of times it's because we don't have one in place. We don't have a system in place to make it easier for us. So what could we do? We could sit down and decide on some things that we could fix. So could we get the kids' clothes out the night before? Sure. Could we get lunches packed the night before? Yeah. Could we offer different breakfast choices so that we're not spending a half an hour making something for breakfast when then they only had like 3 bites, time for 3 bites, and then we have a huge mess in our kitchen to clean up anyways. So it's just finding what's going to work for you and creating that system so that the next time it comes up, that it's going to run smoother. And then what do? You find the next biggest pain point and you lather, rinse, and repeat. You find a simple solution, you implement it, and you keep going. It doesn't have to be perfect. You know, perfection is actually fatal when it comes to overwhelm. It just has to be a solution. You can fix it. You know, if it's not exactly the way you want it, you can fix it when that becomes your biggest pain point then. Now this is not to say that you're not still going to be a hot mess all the time. Because you know what happens once we create these systems? Something changes, right? The kids are off of school for this summer, our work schedule changes, something comes up, something changes. But that's okay, because when that becomes your biggest pain point again, and it might be immediately when that change occurs, that gives you the opportunity to go back in and fix it. So the last thing I wanted to mention here is to stop comparing yourself to others. When people offer us tips and advice, really all they are doing is saying, this is what worked for me. That doesn't mean it's going to work for you, and that doesn't mean it's the only way that things can get done. So if you're trying to fix your overwhelm and you're trying to do it with other people's solution, you're just going to end up more overwhelmed in the end. So we are always going to be busy. You know, our work is never done, but here's your permission just to go out and to start doing it. Know that feeling overwhelmed is normal. I was overwhelmed trying to get ready for this video today, and then my life kept kicking out, you know. It's normal. Maybe I should admit that. But it's normal. I feel like I was overwhelmed, but it's normal. And that doesn't mean that we're less of a person. All it means is that something needs to be fixed. You don't have to be everything to everyone all the time. You just have to put in the work. So start doing it now. Find your biggest pain point. Come up with a simple solution, lather, rinse, and repeat. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you go out and you start fixing those holes. You know, grab your duct tape, grab your Gorilla Glue, and start fixing those holes so that we don't have to run around feeling overwhelmed all the time. Have a great day, everybody.